Good evening, everybody. Appreciate you being here. Hope you've had an awesome week. We're here every Thursday night at 8 o'clock Eastern. Right after us will be the corporate update call that we'll definitely want to jump on as soon as we're done here tonight. It's going to be a little bit different. Y'all have heard me a lot of times say over the years that the quality of our life is in direct proportion to the quality of questions that we ask ourselves and then answer those questions truthfully. And there is no question to this point, this whole ERC experience and the whole experience really with IHAB Global has been unbelievable. You guys will see we've added 3 new 6-figure earners since the last time that we shared this slide with you guys. Gino was this week, Tony, Dan last week, I think. And it's just been unbelievable to think that you could start something and in 6 months, people that had never heard of or knew anything about the program could get themselves self-educated to the point where they could go out and do something that many of us had never done before. And that's the B2B market most of us never had. And create what this team has created. It's just really been phenomenal. And we've all witnessed it. Now, I realize some of you have joined us in the last 30 days or so. And, and honestly, the last 4 people that have joined me personally, I've contacted, and 3 of them, I said, really, I think it's a waste of your time at this point. I said, because you don't have the background of calling on small business owners. The learning curve's too long. And, maybe there's other things might be able to, other areas we can direct you in. But right now, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So that's kind of where we're at. I'm so proud of these people. When it's all said and done, we'll have between 30 and 100 people that will create a 6-figure income. And really, most of it is from business they've done in 6 or 7 months. The #1 income generating program in the history of small business, period. So we always talk about personal accountability. You can't improve your numbers if you don't keep your numbers. And if you don't have numbers, then you have to ask, why don't I have numbers? And you have to get down to where the rubber hits the road. This is not a lottery ticket. And this week, we want to recognize our top 3 people. Tammy had a phenomenal week. I think the deal that she did was over 200. Awesome job. Tony Shoup, also on the boards this week. Tony and Tammy and Kurt all tied, we'll say, for 2nd place. Kurt's just been phenomenal. Tony's been phenomenal. Just consistently out there getting the job done. And then #1 this week again are the living legends, of course, Gordy and Kelly Otterson, that just have got referrals dialed in. That's all you can say. It's dialed in and getting through the numbers and doing a phenomenal job. I'm going to continue to show this slide as much as I can, just to recognize all the people on this team that have just absolutely, when you stop and consider that IHAB Global, since its beginning, has enrolled over 1 million distributors around the world. And we've got, 15, 16, whatever this is, in the top 50 with the ERC program for book calls, which is what it takes to do the job. It's just a phenomenal group. And if we showed the next 50, we would dominate that board as well. Y'all have done a phenomenal job. So I'm just going to ask you to get out a pen and paper if you can, or get something. If you want to use a notepad on your phone, that's cool. I got 4 quick questions I want you to think about tonight. Every experience that we have, and all we can ever do is live, learn, move forward. Live, learn, move forward. Most people live in a state where they continue to do what they've always done, the way they've always done it, expecting different results. Look at your friends, relatives, most of the people that you know, that's their mindset. Do what you've always done, the way you've always done it, hoping for different results. Does not, and that's the way most people go through life. It does not work that way. It does not. You cannot progress in this if you're in the same state, the same mindset, with the same skill sets and the same knowledge. You're not going to progress the next year if you stay the same person you were the previous year. And I don't know why we don't talk about this more, but we don't. So if you grab a pen, I believe the most important questions you can ask yourself since your iHub experience started. Since your iHub experience started, what have you learned the most from this experience so far? What have you learned the most from this experience so far? And I don't know if we have time, we might ask you to share some of this, so please write it down. What have you learned the most from this experience so far? Number two, what have you learned about yourself during this experience? What have you learned about yourself in this experience? Number three, what will you take to your next business that you have or the next opportunity? What did you learn here that you can take with you to make your next experience even better? And the last question, and this isn't a joke, it's probably the most important question. It really is. It's probably the most important question. Why did you not send in your company reports every single week, even if they were zeros? The answer, the true answer to that question is probably the clearest indication of what book you should read next. The honest answer to that question is probably the clearest indication of where are you and what it's going to really take to get down to where the rubber hits the road and move forward. And probably most of you think, oh, Dad, blah, blah, blah. You don't know what you're talking about. That question doesn't do nothing for me. It's nobody's business why I did, whatever. And you can go down that road and that's fine. That's fine. But there'll be a few of you that will really, really get real with that question. And that question alone really is an indication of where you need to focus the most right now. And see, some of you think, well, Dale, I did the work. That's not the point. The fact that you did the work has nothing to do with that question. So what? You did the work. Awesome. Pat yourself on the back. You did the work. Why did you not feel compelled to submit your company report on a weekly basis, even if it was zeros? I promise you that question alone will answer a lot of things for you. Answer a lot of things for you. Well, Dale, I did it every time I had a good week. That's even a bigger clue. That's even a bigger clue. It's not the point of the webinar tonight. Over the last several months, 6 months, 7 months, you all know we've seen legends created. We've seen greed and ego take people totally out of this game. We've seen a lot since this experience. We've seen people get off the hamster wheel, learn how to get consistent, and develop skill sets and mindsets that will serve them well the rest of their entrepreneurial life. Some of you, we talked about, some of you arrived here ready to take on this challenge. Your skill sets were developed to the point, your mindsets were developed to the point that when you arrived here, you were ready to take on this challenge. And the thing that I've communicated with a couple of times over the last 90 days during this summer blitz is, or once really the summer blitz started, I guess over the last 30 days or so, is this is the opportunity to arrive wherever you end up ready, like some people did here. It gives you the chance, and those of you that heard Tom last week, and he was talking about, those 30 doors or so that he pulled on with the loot box program really prepared him for ERC. I don't know how many of you caught that last week. Success leaves clues. We all travel the same road. And you look at the people, and a lot of you remember when, Dave Johnston showed up with his vest on in his work environment on these webinars, sitting in the lunchroom at his job with his fluorescent vest on. Some of you remember that. We've seen unbelievable things on this team this year, last few months. Some of you remember Kamala with Loop. It's like Kamala was a pretty, she was always been a hard worker. She's been one of the most teachable people I've ever worked with. She has a unbelievable emotional intelligence. Her EQ level's off the charts. Y'all have heard her story, 11 years in another company, never accomplished anything. And she's been with us for a while, and she's been okay. She's been participating, and she's been, here every week. She was for a couple of years. And Luke comes, and, next thing you know, she's showing off on stage in Las Vegas because she's the number 3 money or the number 3 person in the company for loop players in the market, and deserved every bit of that recognition. But where did she come from? How did all that come together? Because we all travel the same road. We all travel the same road. I wanted to quit every day my first 3 years in this industry. Then, I finally had the awakening, or whatever you want to call it, at 6 o'clock in the morning at IBM on the assembly line. And that came to me. And then after that, my whole career changed. Nothing's never been the same. I got the fundamentals of what it took to build on rock, to build a real business on rock, not what you see happening all over this profession today, but really build something solid. And what I love to do is now I get to help people come in and get started. And they don't have to go through those 3 years. They can start on rock, because even when you start with your top 3 reasons, top 20, it doesn't mean there's any foo-foo dust. You still have to expand your comfort zone. You still have to get a hold of your self-talk. There's none of that's ever going to change. That's wisdom of the ages success principles. But I know that if you're willing to do that part of it in your time management, make time for your business, schedule time for your business, and everything that we know all of the successful people on this team are doing, and you follow the process, I'm not going to say success is guaranteed, but I tell you what, you stack the odds for success in your favor. And there's a 25, 30-year track record to back that up. I mean, go back and listen to MLM's Success Story 1, Joey Morris. Same thing. How many of you think Joey Morris had her top 3 reasons, top 20? How many of you think she focused on how customer acquisition? How many of you think she knew she had to get to 5 people a month? And I could go on and on. I'm not going to. I promise you what, she knew what the whirlpool was. Dan's coming in. He's starting to come into his own now. He's getting to a whole different level. He had a lot of skill sets, business to business skills, but he's really starting to come into his own right now. And those of you that are really listening to him on the noon Zooms, you can tell that. Scott Shuck, I've never had the opportunity to shake his hand. I look forward to doing that in Orlando. Been consistent down in Myrtle Beach. Has done a great job here. Vicky, her story speaks for itself. Unbelievable. 20 years on the hamster wheel. 20 years. Growing into an understanding that ultimately it's about leadership development, taking people through the steps that you've come through. I think a clearer understanding of the direction and how to get where she ultimately wants to go, without question. I listened to this again last night, or about 3 o'clock this morning. There's so much wisdom in this session, as much as any that we've done. I hope Tom's listened to it by now. Kurt reminds me a lot of Dan Bruning. I call him the unspoken hero on this team, but it's just unbelievable what he's done on the leaderboard this week as well. He just keeps at it. I was trying to get hold of him today on the Zoom. I had something I wanted to share with him. I can't even remember what it was now. And Alan said, no, he's already out pulling doors today. Unbelievable job. And there's many, many, many more that we could talk about. I just pulled some of these real quickly tonight. But you all have witnessed it. And I think that's really the point I want to make. Then we've seen pros earn life-altering income for the time they've invested. David Buchanan, Steady Dave, just wisdom every time he opens his mouth. Unbelievable value to this team. Of course, Shelley and Bobby Gandy, I'm so glad he's part of this team. Has been more value than he thinks he has to this team, without question. The time that when I did this session with him, he didn't understand why he was doing it. I understood why he was doing it, and I promise he gave the exact message that our team needed to hear at the time he agreed to do the podcast for us. Zero MLM experience, and has done a phenomenal job here. And again, Dave Trilogy, we could go on and on and on. Y'all heard Joe. We appreciated Joe, Roy, and you all have heard the stories, of people have been around the block a few times and understand and have come here and just really done phenomenal things. We've all seen that as well here over the last 6-7 months. Of course, Tony and his family there. Coco in the Philippines. Rob's probably the top 2 or 3 in the whole company for loop boxes. Never joined us with ERC, but latched on to loop and has done a phenomenal job. And then we've also seen confidence levels of many people increase. Mindsets, skill sets have increased, and money's been made. And examples have been set. If Jewel had done his company report, he's in Africa, different time zone, whatever, but Jewel would have been on the leaderboard this week for our team. He did a deal, got a call booked this week, a document signed. This young man in Uganda, Africa, making it happen. I mean, I just can't say enough about him and his friend Ernest. Doing a phenomenal job, working, learning. Ernest was on today with our Zoom meeting. You've got Miss Marilyn in Canada. It's made more money this year with ERC in marketing to a country that she doesn't live in Canada, setting the example for everybody. and again, we can go on and on and on with the stories. It's just been unbelievable, even for Tennessee fans. The money been made. I think Michael did his second one today, or this week. And I don't know how many of you got tears when you heard this testimony or saw this testimony video on YouTube last week, but I know some of you did, because I did. Just unbelievable, the stories that we've seen and the examples that people have set. Flavio, y'all, many of you heard his podcast. Unbelievable story. Unbelievable story. So again, we can go on and on and on and on and talk about different people, what they've done. I believe Shane has set himself up for where he will enter the next opportunity ready to row. I think that's already started to happen, ready to row. And then you look at the foxhole friendships that have been developed. It's been unbelievable. It's been unbelievable over the last, since we all joined iHub. It's been great. The Texas 7 there. I mean, really. Foxhole friendships, real friendships, people that you can depend on. You got their back, they got your back. I mean, we have them here with this team. And it's because everybody buys into the fact that together everybody achieves more. That's what it's about. Gabe has been unbelievable inspiration to many of you on this team. I just don't know where Curly is. There's Mo. Oh, there he is now. But again, Dan Parks, we've got people from all backgrounds, all walks of life, they get what's going on here. And it's been absolutely phenomenal since we've all come together. There's Mike and Gabe, and it's been quite an event, many experiences. And I keep telling you guys, and some of you, I mean, it really is. This is just the beginning. It's just started. It hadn't even really started good yet. This is the beginning. This was the first time we ever met Mike, Culver, and Aaron. They drove from Minnesota to Lexington to have dinner in a little 2-3 hour meetup. They came from Minnesota to Lexington, Kentucky. Bernadette came from Missouri. Kamala, which is around here, Kamala probably took this picture, came from Michigan. It was just, that's how all this started. This was when Loop was first rolling out. They came to Lexington, Kentucky. There's Bernadette and Kamala. Of course, you see in Kentucky, we do the decor right. The right decor in Kentucky. But it's been unbelievable. Dan was bored then. He didn't know what was going on, but he's starting to figure it out. But it was a great time. It really was. And again, it's the beginning. Here's what I need you to think about. I'm going to wrap this up and let y'all comment whatever you want here in just a second. 1 million people has joined iHub since it started. Hundreds have, actually over 1,000 have joined this team, joined, left, never did a thing, and missed the chance to change the course of the rest of their life. Over 1,000. Why does that? Why? Why does that happen? How can that possibly happen? And see, the answer is real important. And again, all you can do is all you can do. But we all have to get better as leaders. But going back to Tom, what did Tom say last week? He looked at people that had been painting their whole life or cleaning windows their whole life, and they were 75, 80 years old, still painting, still doing it. And he wanted off the ladder. And you heard the story about, watching his son decide he would not be denied and persist and get plugged in. And Tom made the decision prior to before we ever met him, that he was going to focus on personal development. Success leaves clues. So the first thing we have to do is get real with people that you enroll. When you bring them in is when your work starts. That's when it starts. It doesn't end once they join, because they're going to end up on this list. So the first thing you have to do is help them. What would an extra $500 a month really mean to you? What would an extra $1,000? Why are you here? What do you want? Is it worth expanding your comfort zone? Is it worth getting control of your time management, since that is the best kept secret of the rich? And just some basic fundamental things, and having real conversations with people and putting them in front of an opportunity that makes sense. This is the heartbreak of this business. This is the heartbreak of it. Some have gotten serious, got plugged in. Most come, go, and never launch. They never launch. They never get close to launching, because they never figured out why they would want to launch in the beginning and to begin with. But some of you, many of you here, have let wisdom of the age of success principles. You've heard it through repetition. They've gotten from your head to your heart, and you can feel the difference. You can feel something is different here. And if that's you, just stay on this road. That's what I would tell you. Stay on this road. This team has helped small businesses, churches, private schools, nonprofits recover tens of millions of dollars in funds. We've done an awesome work as a team. And the bottom line is, if this has been profitable for you, or whether it hasn't been profitable for you, is really not the issue tonight. It's not. The point being, the most important point is you're still here. Even if you're not here live, some of you are taking the time to watch the replay. You're still here. You're still plugged in. Okay, so that tells me a whole lot about what your future can look like, even what next month could look like, the remainder of this month could look like. The fact that you're still here is a major, major clue. So I'm going to ask you again, what have you learned the most from? What have you learned about yourself? What will it take you? What will you take with you to the next opportunity? And please answer this for yourself, truthfully. Why didn't you take the time to send in your company report every week? Last question. Are you done? Are you finished? And if you're not, what's the game plan? If you are finished, what's the game plan? That's real important, that you come to some conclusions, like as soon as possible. As soon as possible. If you're done, that's fine. If you're not done, that's fine. But if you're not done, then you got to muster up all you can muster up the next month and a half, month and 20 days, as much as you possibly can muster up. you've got to do it. You know, it's like one more door. If you're not done. If you're done, that's fine. Live, learn, move forward. If you're not done, the clock is definitely clicking. And we're going to have a great time as a team in Florida. We'll have our biggest group we've ever had with iHub. We'll be at this event, and we're going to have a great time. And there's going to be a lot of celebration and a lot of recognition. And if you say, well, Dale, it's not going to be a lot for me, it could be. It could be if you're not done. But it's going to take extraordinary determination to get out there and just not stop until you get done whatever you want to get done. It takes a different level of commitment and a different level of determination over the next couple of months than it has the previous 2 months. It just does. So if you're willing to take on that challenge and fight it, then fight it or be done. And it's okay either way. It's your decision. Everybody's here is here for different reasons. I was done in April. I was going to support here. I was going to spend the time on the phone with you guys, do everything that I need to do, continue to do these webinars. But personally, I knew I had to look, okay, what's after this? What's next? I had to. That's my responsibility. And we've already had that conversation. But we're going to have fun in Florida. If you're thinking about being there, you need to be there, really, just for the experience of it. Here's the Friday schedule that they've given us. And we wanted to let you guys know that we're planning on right after the 5 o'clock session, probably at 5:30, maybe till 7:30, getting together as a team. We haven't figured out exactly what we're going to do yet, but we'll have some kind of food. We're working with the hotel to get a special meeting room for our team. So we'll give you the updates as we put this together. We're going to do some celebration as a team and recognition as well. And everybody that has written at least, for every deal that you've written in June, July, or August, we're going to do our own drawing. And somebody is going to win a cabin on the cruise that we're taking as a team, probably in January, February of next year. So that drawing will happen at this event. We're working on getting that together. Here's what we need from you guys tonight. If you're coming to Florida with your spouse or with somebody, how many are going to be with you in Florida? Even if you think we know, please send an email to mdoncalvert@gmail.com. mdoncalvert@gmail.com. And just a reminder, those that are in the top 3 for ERC for the summer blitz, for the amount of deals written in June, July, and August, they got some great prizes for people. 2 VIP tickets. They're going to give you $1,000 for travel money. 4 nights at the hotel. That's awesome. Dinner, you get to have dinner with Rick Cotton or whoever you'd like to have dinner with. And then there's going to be some kind of special recognition. That's for the top 3 people that do the most deals June, July, and August. I believe all 3 of those people should come from this team. Gordy and Kelly, Pamela, and one other person. That's what I see. I don't know who the other person is yet. but I see Gordy and Kelly and Kamala on stage, and then there's somebody else, and whoever else is up there, they just keep wanting to talk all the time. So it's probably Alabama Dave. I'm not sure. Could be somebody else. But my point is, it needs to come from this team. All three should come from this team. It just should. Everybody that's written a deal, and a lot of you already have, you've already got your vacation. So that's cool. Everybody that you saw earlier today on the for the week, everybody has a vacation coming to you. That's awesome. Your first one, you got that vacation, 6-day, 5-night resort stay. That's pretty cool. So that's coming to everybody. And if you haven't done a deal yet and you decide you're going to over the next month and 20 days or whatever it is, you know, when you're out there and you're yanking a door, it's like the next door might be my vacation. I mean, whatever you got to do to program your mind to fight, you got to fight. It's what it takes. I mean, you know, it's so cool because I think Michael Clark wrote his second one this week, got his second deal done, his second deal done. So Michael Clark's going on a vacation somewhere in the Caribbean, some destination. That's cool. The other thing that's going to be fun about this, here it is. This is going to be really fun, I think. So throughout the event, they're going to be pulling out raffle tickets. For every deal that's been done, they're going to pull out a raffle ticket, and like one might win a laptop or cash or tickets to Universal. They're going to give away another cruise, iPads, so on and so forth. So I think it's going to be fun when they reach in there and they pull it out, and it's whoever on our team that just won an iPad. It's going to be a fun event in Florida. It really will be a fun event in Florida. And then, of course, all of you know, this is the ultimate prize for every deal that's done in June, July, or August. You get a raffle ticket in, and somebody's going to win this Tesla. So my point tonight is get down to where the rubber hits the road, get real with yourself. Where are you? What do you want to do? And if you're not done, you can't just play the game. You can't just play the game over the next month and a half. You can't play it like you've been playing it. You're going to get your nose bloodied and your teeth knocked out. You have to attack it. You have to go after it. You have to go with a I will not be denied determination. I will not be denied determination. And see, granted, most of your teammates are not going to have that because they're not. But you have to treat this like this is the 7th game of the World Series, and it's up to you. 2 outs, 2 strikes, bases loaded. You got to have a run. You must have a run. And that's the mentality you have to attack this with. And I just wanted to make sure that I said that because it's important. Because when you get to Florida, if you got one raffle ticket in there, you're going to have a great time. And you'll have a great time anyway, because it's going to be good. So let Dawn know if you're coming. And that's all I needed to share with you guys tonight. Gino, you made it. Okay.
Yes, I did. I got off work a little early.
Okay. Gino's going to be our special guest speaker next week. Gino will be our special guest speaker next week. Dawn, can you come up here, please? Dawn, if you have a chance. Comments, questions, anything, please let Dawn know if you're coming to Florida. Dave Johnston.
Hey guys, back in Alabama. And I wish I could have brought the California weather with me. And first of all, I just want to thank Alan Knight and his wife for their awesome hospitality and I got the chance to go to church with him, and that was quite an experience, and I appreciate that, Alan. So thank you. And we got to spend some quality time together. I wrote these questions down. What have I learned most from this experience so far? Trust the process, and especially trust the team here. Trust this team. And this is just for me personally, and what I've learned about myself, that I do not give up very easily. And I can absorb the uncomfortable information about myself and take action to change for the better. And then I didn't get to the answers for taking to the next opportunity, but I've got some things I'm thinking about. Why did I not send in my company report weekly? I don't think I think I sent in one. And I can tell you, this is the knee jerk. This is the first response that came to my mind. I really didn't think it was that important. And that's honest. And I'm learning a whole different story. A lot of things have to do with time management, being able to keep myself organized, things like that. And honestly, I just didn't think it was that important. And that tells me I need to do some work on taking information in and putting it into action. There's other work, I have a plan to get well past. I'm not here just to make money. I love the fact that I want to make money, but I'm here for a whole different thing, and that's something I'll discuss going forward later. But I got to tell you, man, I had tears in my eyes looking at the teammates and just what I what I have changed from the time that I had the vest on until now. I look back and go, whoa, that was a journey, and I'm not done. And I'm going to say this. I hope everybody hears this for what I'm really saying. That lately, what's been going on in my mind is, and I'm going to use Dale as an example. Dale did $10 million in 5 years. Why can't I? My dreams are alive now. If I absorb this information and I take it forward, why can't I do 20 million in 5 years? The sky is the limit, is what I'm trying to say. My dreams are back alive. The creativity is back flowing. And to get it refined and into a on course, on the road, and take in this information, implement it, not be afraid of the change. Don't worry about getting in the whirlpool. I know how to get out. Move forward with this, whatever comes, adjust, adapt. In the Marine Corps, they said, we had a saying, it was adapt, overcome, improvise. And that's what I'm, improvise, adapt, and overcome. And you said something lately, just recently, Dale, about we're going to run into obstacles. We get into an obstacle, when we've got an obstacle, and then we either get through it or we shrink away. But once we get through it, the next thing up is another obstacle and another obstacle. Hurdles.
Just make sure.
And I said it in my when I had my time as the featured guest speaker. It was about, you go out, you get your teeth kicked in, you get on the field every day. I took a couple of bean balls. I've learned how to duck. And then there's going to be a new pitcher that comes in. He's got a new form and he's going to hit me with a bean ball every now and then. So you adjust. You just continue to adjust. And I'm in this for the long haul. And I'm happy to report my wife is coming with me. There's been some work that's been done within our relationship that will help moving forward. And so I'm just happy to be here. I'm really happy with all of the things that I've learned over the course of the last 7-8 months, whatever it is. And tomorrow, I took my rest today. Thank you very much. But tomorrow, I've already got my plan for who I'm going to go see, what doors I'm going to go pull, and how many I'm going to go pull. and I'm gonna move forward with this, and it's all thanks to this team and the tutelage and the mentorship of Dale Calvert. So thank you very much for everything that you guys have done. That's all.
Everybody, it's everybody. Any more comments, anybody? Kamala?
Hey, I want to thank you for bringing these to our attention, these questions. They hit home. I'm very grateful. Thank you.
You're welcome. There's a reason for everything. And it's like Dave Johnson, it's like at this point, it's like, I don't think it's that important. If it wasn't that important, we wouldn't be doing it. Over the long haul, everything comes back, because you can't even implement the retention system that most of you have no idea what I'm talking about when I say that. And if you don't, Tony Shoup does, but if you don't do the 20 reasons, the retention system cannot ever be implemented. And we haven't even gotten to that point yet on this team. So there is, I promise you, there's a reason for everything, because I don't want to do anything that's not necessary, and I'll never ask you to. Shane. Then Tom. Shane Rogers.
I just had a question for you. I always look to gain information and knowledge from you. You mentioned we were going to reference a book that could be read for one of the reasons why, for myself or no one didn't send in their information for the week. Was that a reference to you were going to quote a book to read for the reasoning behind that, or was that just a statement to get it done?
I'm lost.
You mentioned that.
Depends on your answer, Shane.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to check. No, but I appreciate your.
Yeah, I apologize, but I was probably saying, if you figure out why you weren't doing that, then it will be an indication to you of what book you could read or something training that you need to wrap your brain around. That was
Okay.
what I was trying to say.
Okay. Thank you very much for the clarification. I didn't mean to be confusing.
No,
Thank
that's
you for
okay.
that.
That's okay. And everything's going to come to a different conclusion for sure. Everybody's going to be different on that. Tom.
Yeah, I'll read the answers to those questions. Number one, what I learned, people are just people. I learned because there's two different, I started out emailing and I was having good success with it. And then the time came where I had to pull doors because I got some time off of work. And that's always been really tough for me. I think you guys on the Zoom, I was talking to people and I was like, I hate this, because it was so hard for me. Why was it? I don't know. But it got easier the more I did it. And it was the best thing I could do for myself personally, I think, is pull on doors. Even though I never booked a call. I thought I had one, but he bailed out on me. I haven't booked a call yet from a door pull, but you know what? It's really good for me personally. So number two, I learned that I'm better than I thought I could ever be. What I'm going to take away to the next opportunity is self-confidence, because I had some success with making money here, and that's amazing what it does for your confidence. So, and why I didn't submit my report, kind of like Dave, I was really busy. I had so much going on, just scattered all over the place. And I just thought, you know what, I can do the work. I'll be okay. And I didn't realize the importance of doing that. And I kind of do now. So I'm going to be better next time.
Awesome, Tom. Tom, is playing a trumpet kind of hard for you?
Playing a trumpet? Yeah.
everything's kind of hard until it's not. Pulling doors is, or whatever it is, it's not supposed to be easy in the beginning.
Yeah.
Everything is hard until it's not.
I
Perfect.
take things too personally, you know, I'm just,
You do, but it's like any new skill set, mindset that you need to develop from this point on. Have other average people done it? Yes, then I can do it. That's always the answer. 1000% of the time, it's never anything but that. If other average people have learned how to do it, I can do it. Tom can do it. You can do it. Is it going to feel comfortable in the beginning? Heck no, it's not. Are you going to be confused? Probably. If you have to be talking to somebody, will your words get scrambled up? Of course. But if you continue to do it, it gets easier and easier. That's just the way it is. So once you understand that, it puts you on a whole different level of not letting your emotions yank you around. You're just using a lot of logic.
yeah, I'll never forget, you said this on a podcast once that we were trying to get 50 no's for APL Go. And you said it's gonna be awkward. You're not gonna be good. Just get it over with as quick as possible. And I always remembered that.
Yeah.
Just get the awkwardness over with.
We
Like,
all start out lousy. We all start out lousy. Everybody on this team, if we said, okay, next year we're all going to learn how to play the trumpet. First thing we're going to do is find the best trumpet teacher we can find, and then we're just going to all go to class and we're going to learn how to play. You know what? We'd have a heck of a trumpet playing group. We would do it. We could do it. It's no different. That's the way this works. Dan Bruni.
Questions, Dale. So, man, it's really making me think, listening to everybody and stuff, and I wrote a couple things down. So what have I learned up to my experience so far? Time management, value of team, and getting me going. And what have I learned about myself? First off, I think getting back to the team stuff, it's made me more competitive. And I've always been competitive. I hate to lose, even in tiddlywinks. I mean, even with my kids, you know, so what it is there's just a drive, right? So there's a drive. I didn't get involved with this a lot. I've always been B2B. I didn't really want to do anything else. Some of the money didn't make sense to me, chasing it for $1 here, $1 there. But when, Serbia came along, and then the Go stuff came along, that was a start to start building. I said, hey, that's starting to work. Team was starting to come around, or just getting some business coming around. Then the ERC was like, oh yeah, it's in my wheelhouse. It's door to door. It's business to business. Someplace I've already been. I'm more comfortable talking to business owners than I am, regular people on this. And I've always worked by myself, and I'm good at working by myself. I'm comfortable working by myself. And it was basically just getting out of my comfort zone and wanting to have more. So personal development is where I need to be. And I'm not financially set. There's the drive. Plus I want some freedom and time. Of course, you already know that because I sent my 20s in. And then the opportunity, like I said, just what do I need? More skills, having the comebacks, because we're getting ready to go into the new realm of the next one coming up. And it's going to be it's a different animal, or it will maybe not so much anymore, but it will be just a hair different. But having the knowledge and the skills to come back at somebody is going to be a lot funner than hanging up and kicking the door in. So that's going to be good. And then the weekly reports, I probably put more zeros, sent more zeros to you than I did that I actually did something. So that just telling me that I just need to, it's going to be good learning for for when I do start putting some people underneath me. And there's a few in the next one already, so that's fine. And are you done? No, I'm not done. Probably 1 to 2 years, I'm thinking. I want to be in a position to kind of, 65 is a good number. And maybe I'll probably still be in the game, but maybe I won't be in that performance business as much as I want to. Maybe I hand that down to my wife. And now I'm more into the network marketing stuff. And I think another thing that you mentioned right towards the end there, I need to program my mind into battle mode when I am ready to go door to door. That hit me pretty good because I have to be in the right frame to go listen to some of these knuckleheads as they throw stuff back at you. And everybody on the team knows what I'm talking about. So, and then I'll close with the last statement is, that was I was at that very first meeting in Lexington and drove over from Frankfurt in there. And, are you sure I wasn't bored, or you sure I just wasn't looking around on the table for something to eat? Because I was pretty hungry. That's it.
I'm so glad you were there. That's something we'll be talking about for years to come. Vicky.
He wasn't bored. He was sitting right across from me. He was learning.
Yeah, sure.
He was.
Yeah.
Out.
Vicky.
I'll answer my questions tonight when I have a
Okay.
little more time to think through, but I just got my tickets for September today. And after I booked it, it just hit me. I'm finally going to meet the people I've been in the trenches with these last 9 months. And, I've never been on a team in my network marketing career like this. And this team epitomizes the word team. You've said many times, together, everyone achieves more. And this team is that. Always there to help answer our questions, inspire each other on, and help all of us move forward. So we just have so much to be thankful for. And I'm really excited to just meet everyone.
Blast. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be a blast. Tony Shoup, did you have your hand up earlier?
Yeah, I was gonna say something. Every time I see your dad or your parents, man, I mean, it just tears me up. I mean, when I first started in this whole game, man, I mean, the Carol and the way they love me and just directed me and helped me is something I never can replace. And it just blesses my socks off. I know I don't speak a lot, but I tell you guys, this family that we develop here, this lasts forever.
Yeah.
And this stuff is going to change who you are, everything about you. And be honest, I really love you guys. I appreciate you guys so much. I love to see everybody coming together. It's an absolute awesome. And I always think about, I love what you said a minute ago. If the average guy does it, you can do it. I mean, and I think back to Roger Bannister, 1954, 4-minute mile. Nobody could do it. Everybody thought their heart would explode. It's physically, humanly impossible for anybody to run a 4-minute mile. And I guess 1954, when he did it, that year after, everybody did it.
The next week, 11 people did it. Now there's 13-year-old girls doing it. Self-limitations. Yeah. That's good stuff, man. Yeah. Is your wife coming with you to Florida?
Absolutely. We'll be right there. I sent my email.
Cool. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's good. Day Trilogy. I see your hand.
Yeah, I just want to say real quick, what I've learned the most is if I stick with this team, I can't lose. It's just not, I mean, I've been with a lot of teams and a lot of groups of people through my life, and I've never seen a group of people so joined together like a big fist. And I mean, you've already proven it, what, 3 times now? And it's just, we're like somebody else said yesterday or today, it's a juggernaut. And that's what we've created here. And, you know, we're just, it's just, and to answer, that's one question, the company report, I just, laziness, pure laziness. But, you know, I'm just thankful to be part of this team. And I know that we're going to continue to grow together. I'm thankful to be here.
Awesome. Yeah, it's just starting, I promise. It's just starting. It's just starting. And you know, you guys are so important because it's like, you know, it's like at this point, I need you guys to do what you know to do more than I ever have. I just do. Because I can't be, my nerves can't stand it, and I can't be the bad guy all the time. And you know, I look at Alan up there shaking his head, but I mean, he's bailed me out multiple times, and I appreciate that. All right, let's go hear about what's the name of that card thing they got?
Transact.
What?
Transact.
Yeah, Transact.
Thanks, Joe. Really
Time to
appreciate
go
it.
anyway. Kamala's out of tissues. We love you, Cam.
All right, guys. Get your tickets in. Let Dom know about Florida. We're going to do something. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. And I'm hoping IHUB comes up with something and introduces something in Florida that we have to say, whoa, you know, they may not. We'll see. We'll figure it out as we go. Everything's not for everybody. It's just not. But, and that's why, and I don't care as long as you figure out where you're at, be real with yourself, and just go. Just continue to move forward. All right. We appreciate you. Y'all have a good one. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Night.
Good night.
Bye, everybody.